on. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna have to like wing it. So what I did was, I'm in my backyard. Last year I had my stuff in the towers, you know, these stacked like this, and I had them on top of my bucket. So what I'm gonna do this year is something a little bit different. I'm probably gonna grow like more melons and stuff like that. I took all the dirt from out of these and I put them in here in this bucket right here. And what I've already started doing, I did it off camera. I taken the soil that I made, which is from 3 different things. So this is the pith, the grow soil, and the compost mixed with number, you know. So I actually did that already, mixed these together. So I put it in with that, like I put it in the soil that came from these from last year. So I took everything out of there, snatched out all the roots, and they might still be might have some roots in there still, but you know, for the most part, took them out, and then I'm mixing this back in. Now, if you remember last year, I did a my own mixture of, you know, the clay and some cardboard. Like, so I basically took like cardboard like this. I put it in water, soaked it, and I mashed it up, and I left it like a slurry, and I mixed that all in together. So like that's what I did last year. This year, like I said, I need more nutrients, so I am mixing in the nutrients that I created with this. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take some of my compost. I have it over here, like I could bring it on the screen. Okay, so I don't have much compost in here anymore because I've been using it. So my composter with my own compost that I created, shells, egg shells, plant clippings, like, you know, skins from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my compost that I created. Oh, that's what was in it last year too, some of this, but not as much. So I'm going to put this all in together, and this is, let me move this a little closer, keep it simpler. That's not light. And I'm going to, like I said, when I found a worm out here, I would put it in here. So this is going to add, like, you know, a lot of nutrients into my soil. This way, keep it simple as possible. So I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna incorporate it all in, all together. Is gonna get all mixed in, and I'm going to put them back into these. I'm gonna put them back in. I'm going to stack them, and then I have something else, which actually it came with the property, and I had to go and dig them out, but you know, because they had some growth in there and everything. So I'm going to go and get them. So what I'm going to do is, really quickly, I have 3 of these. I have 3 of these towers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like my bucket, and take my buckets just like this, and when I stack them up, I'm going to put the dirt in here, boom, stack it just like this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside like that, so whatever I'm growing, it can grab onto the sides, and actually this can act for, you know, the things that I'm growing. They can hold on to the sides if they need to. So like if I'm growing cucumbers or melons, I haven't decided what I'm going to grow, but this is going to act as if there's still some of these roots that I had to dig off of them to get it off. So, you know, so this is what I'm gonna do. That is, and there you go. I mean, that is the plan. That is what I'm trying to get accomplished. So I still have a little bit more. I'm not holding on. Like, I'm going to use all of this. Try to use all of this compost. Okay. All this compost that I created. This homemade compost. So coffee grains. This looks like a piece of banana leaf, because I have a whole bunch of bananas. Like, my bananas are growing again. So last year when they died, they just chopped everything down, and I laid it all out, let it dry out, and I actually used it in the front as some ground cover. Not really, like, it was not really ground cover. It was to cover up the what do you call it, the compost that I put down there. Because, like, you know, trying to make sure nothing can come eat the stuff that's in there. You know, like if there's any worms or anything like that and the birds want to get to it, no, I have a barrier in between. And so right now what I'm doing is I'm actually digging all this compost that I created, and I'm combining it, like I said, last year's soil with the new soil that I created and my compost. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to mix it in. I'm probably going to do it by hand. I might do it with shovel, but it's going to go back into these right here. And like I said, I'm going to stack them and put them inside of these cages so that anything that's a vine, it could grab onto it. It could support it. And that's basically the plan. It's going to be real simple, not complicated. You know, these were free because they came with the property. You know, so I'm glad that they were actually there. I do have another one, it's like a square though. I'm actually using another one over here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. What I tried to grow on the inside, I tried to grow some grapes. The grapes did not grow. Right. But I did have some wild grapes that were already here, and hopefully they self-propagate this year. I don't want to say too much. But like, we have blackberries that pop up on their own here too. So it's like, hopefully to this year, it's gonna go a lot different. You know, right now, like I said, I'm going to make sure I have enough nutrients in my soil. And like I said, that's the whole point. You know, the pith is like the soil filler, like this right here. Like it dissolves with water, like it spreads with water. And you know, as that decomposes, it'll give my soil some nutrients. So that's about it. I wanna, like I said, I'm gonna mix all this in. And I'm gonna have a nice soil base when I am done. And I'll give updates as they come along. Like, you know, just getting my hands dirty. None of this stuff is gonna hurt you. This is where your food comes from. And grow your own food. Like, that is one of the main things. If you grow your own food, you're buying less from the store. Matter of fact, if you go to the store right now and you buy something, yeah, you heard what the bird said? You go to the store and you buy something that has seeds in it, see if you can keep some of those seeds and grow them. See what kind of soil that it needs, and you know, start small. You don't have to do a big production, and then you can expand as you go along. Expand as you go along. You can learn more. You know, look up different videos to learn how to grow things if you've never grown anything before. Hey, talk to some people. If you go to a farmer's market, talk to them and say, hey, would you be willing to teach me some stuff? You know, I'll do some work for you. Teach me to do some stuff, you know? And I'm pretty sure they'd be glad to have some help and to pass on some of their knowledge. You know, sometimes, you know. This is, you know, not crazy hard work. It's just tedious. Sometimes you gotta do it a little bit more. It's there's more science to it than you think there is, but it's not crazy. It's really simple. You hear these birds, they gang banging right now. They gang banging. So yeah, and this clay is pretty garbage. It's not great, but like you still incorporate it in there. It still has minerals in it. So what I'm doing right now, this is just for the video, by mixing it by hand to show you. It just, you know, you get a whole different color, different texture when you mix all this stuff in together. And that's going to be nutrients for the plants when I'm going to plant. There we go. I just will adjust this. Peace. All right.